The day started like any other, with the sun creeping through the curtains and illuminating the mess we'd made the night before. Empty takeout containers littered the kitchen counter, remnants of our latest binge. I stood at the sink, washing the dishes, my mind wandering to the conversation I'd had with Emily just days before. She had looked so beautiful, her long hair cascading over her shoulders, but there was a shadow in her eyes that I couldn't quite place. "Babe," I called out, trying to break the silence. "Have you seen your wedding ring? I thought I saw it on the counter yesterday." Emily appeared in the doorway, a frown creasing her brow. "Oh, that. I lost it," she replied, waving her hand dismissively. "I lost some weight, and it must have slipped off on the way home. I'll find it." I felt a small pang of unease but brushed it aside. After all, rings get lost, right? 2 months passed, and Emily's story about the ring began to feel more like a convenient excuse than a reality. I often caught myself glancing at her bare finger, the absence of the ring gnawing at my insides. It wasn't just a piece of jewelry, it was a symbol of our vows, our commitment. One morning, I decided to join my friend Matt for the drive to work. He pulled up in his usual beat-up sedan, and as I slid into the passenger seat, I noticed a glint of something shiny on the floor. Leaning down to get a better look, my heart dropped. "Is that?" I muttered, picking up the familiar band. It was Emily's wedding ring, tarnished but unmistakably hers. Matt glanced over, raising an eyebrow. "What's up?" I swallowed hard, feeling the weight of betrayal crush my chest. "I found this under your seat." His face paled as I held it up, and for a moment, the air hung heavy between us. I didn't know it was there," he stammered, his eyes darting away. The realization hit me like a freight train. The pieces of the puzzle fell into place: Emily's late nights at work, her sudden secrecy, and now this. My wife was cheating on me, and Matt was her accomplice. I felt a rush of rage boiling beneath the surface. "Matt," I said, my voice low and steady, "is there something you need to tell me?" He shifted uncomfortably, avoiding my gaze. I don't know what you're talking about." I clenched my fists, feeling the urge to lash out. "You're lying. This is her ring, and you know it." He sighed, rubbing his forehead. "Look, man, I can explain." I cut him off. "Save it. I don't want to hear your excuses. I trusted you both, and you've betrayed me." As I stepped out of the car, the world around me blurred. I was consumed by a whirlwind of emotions: anger, betrayal, heartbreak. I had to come up with a plan. I couldn't let this go unanswered. I wanted revenge, and I wanted to make them both pay. That night, when Emily returned home, I was waiting for her. The atmosphere crackled with tension as she walked through the door, her face lighting up momentarily before it fell when she saw my expression. "Hey, what's wrong?" she asked, feigning innocence. I held up the ring, letting it dangle from my fingers like a noose. "Is this what you were looking for?" Her face drained of color, and I watched as panic set in. "How did you?" she stammered, glancing around as if searching for an escape. "Cut the crap, Emily," I snapped, my voice rising. "You've been lying to me this whole time. With Matt, of all people?" She opened her mouth to respond, but I didn't give her the chance. "You're out. I want you gone." The confrontation spiraled into chaos. She begged, cried, and even tried to reason with me, but I stood firm. My heart ached, but I felt a sense of empowerment. The betrayal had ignited something within me, an indomitable spirit fueled by rage and a need for justice. In the end, I packed her bags while she stood helplessly in the corner of the room, her expression shifting from disbelief to defeat. When the last box was shoved out the door, I slammed it shut, sealing our fate. The silence that followed was deafening, but it felt like freedom. I knew this was just the beginning. I would make sure they understood the consequences of their actions. I had been betrayed, but I was far from broken. I had a plan, and I would see it through to the end. The door slammed shut behind Emily, and the finality of the sound reverberates through the empty house. I lean against the wall, heart racing, still trying to process what just happened. The evening was thick with silence, but inside my mind, a storm brews, fueled by betrayal and anger. I walk to the living room and pour myself a drink, the amber liquid swirling in the glass mirroring the chaos within me. I need to think clearly, I need to plan my next move. The betrayal stings deep, but I know I can't act impulsively. I need to be smart about this. As I sit on the couch, I pull out my phone and scroll through my contacts until I find Matt's name. My thumb hovers over the screen for a moment. I want answers, and I want him to squirm. I tap the message icon and type, "We need to talk." I hit send, my heart racing at the prospect of confronting him. I pour another drink and wait, tapping my foot impatiently against the hardwood floor. Time drags on, each tick of the clock amplifying my frustration. Finally, my phone buzzes. It's Matt. Where? I respond with the address of a nearby bar, the dim lighting and noise providing the perfect backdrop for the confrontation I've planned. I grab my jacket and head out, determination coursing through my veins. When I arrive, I find Matt sitting at the bar, nervously fiddling with a coaster. As I approach, he looks up, his face paling. "Hey, man. I didn't think you'd actually show up." "Of course I'm here," I reply, sliding onto the stool beside him. "You have some explaining to do." Matt shifts uncomfortably, avoiding my gaze. "I didn't want things to end up like this. I thought we could work it out, you know? Just keep things casual." "Casual?" I scoff, leaning closer. "You call cheating on your best friend with his wife casual? What were you thinking, man?" He winces at my words, and I can see the guilt etched across his face. "I didn't mean for it to happen. It just did. Emily and I." "Save it." I interrupt, my voice rising. "I don't want to hear your excuses. You're supposed to be my friend. How could you do this?" Matt runs a hand through his hair, looking genuinely distressed. "Look, I know I messed up. But can't we just talk about it? Maybe I can fix things with Emily." "Fix things?" I laugh bitterly. "You think that's possible? You think she'll go back to you after all this? You're delusional." A moment of silence stretches between us, thick with tension. Finally, I take a deep breath and lower my voice. "I'm not here to discuss feelings, Matt. I want revenge." His eyes widen and he leans back, trying to create distance. "Revenge? What do you mean?" "I mean I'm going to make you both pay for what you've done," I say, my tone icy. "And I'm starting with you." "What are you going to do?" he asks, the fear creeping into his voice. "Let's just say I have a plan. But first, I need you to be honest with me. How long has this been going on?" He hesitates, looking away as if trying to avoid my piercing gaze. "A few months, maybe? I didn't mean to fall for her, I swear." "Did you sleep with her?" I demand, my heart pounding in my chest. He nods, the shame evident on his face. "Yes, but..." I cut him off again. "There are no excuses, Matt. You ruined my life. I want you to know what that feels like. Please, just give me a chance to explain," he pleads, desperation creeping into his voice. "Explain what?" "How you took advantage of my trust. How you betrayed me. There's no explanation that can make this okay." I rise from my stool, feeling the weight of my anger coursing through my veins. "You will regret this. I promise you that." As I turn to leave, I feel a hand on my arm. I spin around to find Matt staring at me, panic etched across his face. "Wait, where are you going? We can work this out." I shake him off, my heart racing with the adrenaline of my resolve. But you both have made a terrible mistake, and I will make sure you feel the consequences. I storm out of the bar, the door slamming behind me. My mind races as I drive home, formulating a plan to enact my revenge. I pull out my phone and begin drafting a message to Emily. You think you can just walk away? You have no idea what's coming. You will regret what you did to me. I hit send, a surge of satisfaction flooding through me. I may have lost my wife, my best friend, and my trust, but I refuse to be the victim. This is just the beginning, and I will make them both pay for their betrayal. The next few days drag on in a haze of anger and betrayal. Each morning, I wake up to an empty bed, the absence of Emily's warmth a constant reminder of her deceit. I can't shake the feeling of being watched, every corner of my home feeling tainted by her betrayal. I spend my evenings plotting, going over every detail of my plan in my mind. I decide it's time to confront Emily again. I want her to know that I'm not just going to let this slide. I need her to feel the weight of her actions. I text her, asking to meet at a nearby cafe. The message is terse, direct, and filled with unspoken tension. When I arrive, I find a table in the corner, a perfect spot for a confrontation. I scan the room, waiting for Emily to arrive. My heart races with anticipation, each passing moment building my resolve. Finally, I see her walking through the door, her expression unreadable. She looks beautiful and vulnerable, and for a moment, I feel the urge to pull her into my arms. But I shake off the feeling, I can't afford to let my emotions get the best of me. "Hi," she says, her voice soft as she takes a seat across from me. "Let's skip the small talk," I reply, cutting straight to the chase. "We need to talk about what you did." She fidgets, avoiding eye contact. "I know I messed up, and I'm really sorry. Can we just?" "No," I interrupt, my voice firm. "You don't get to apologize and think it's all okay. You betrayed me, Emily, with Matt of all people." Her expression shifts to one of frustration. "I didn't mean for it to happen. It was a mistake, and I want to make it right." "Make it right? How? By lying to me again?" I lean forward, my tone low and menacing. "You think I'm just going to forget everything? You've shattered my trust." She sighs, her shoulders sagging in defeat. "What do you want from me?" "I want you to feel the consequences of your actions," I say, my voice steady. "I want you to understand how much you've hurt me." Emily's eyes widen, and I can see the realization dawning on her. "What are you planning?" "Let's just say I have a few ideas," I reply, a dark smile creeping onto my lips. As I speak, I notice the tension in the air. People around us are beginning to pay attention to our conversation, but I don't care. I need her to know that I'm not the man she can walk all over anymore. "Look, can we talk this through?" she pleads, desperation creeping into her voice. I shake my head, standing up abruptly. "No more talking. I'm done with your empty promises." Just as I turn to leave, my phone buzzes with a message from Matt. My heart races. "We need to talk. Can we meet?" I glance back at Emily, who is watching me with a mix of confusion and fear. "I'll be right back," I say coldly, heading outside. As I step onto the sidewalk, I reply to Matt, telling him to meet me at a different bar across town. I need to face him again, to make sure he knows this isn't over. The night air is cool against my skin, and I take a deep breath, feeling the adrenaline surging through me. When I arrive at the new bar, I spot Matt sitting at a table in the back, looking tense and anxious. As I approach, he glances up, his eyes wide with apprehension. "Hey, man," he says, his voice shaky. "I didn't think you'd actually show." "Of course I'm here," I reply, sliding into the seat opposite him. "We need to talk about what you've done." He swallows hard, looking guilty. "I know I messed up, and I want to explain." "Explain what?" I lean in closer, my voice low and dangerous. "How you took my wife away from me. How you destroyed my life." Matt flinches at my words, and I can see him squirming in his seat. "Look, it was a mistake. I never meant for it to go this far." I scoff, shaking my head in disbelief. "You think that makes it okay? You think I'm just going to forgive and forget?" "I'm not asking for forgiveness," he says, raising his hands defensively. I just want to make things right. Make things right? I echo, my anger boiling over. You can't fix this. You've ruined everything. Then what do you want from me? He asks, desperation creeping into his voice. I want you to feel the pain you've caused, I reply, my eyes narrowing. I want you to understand what it's like to have everything you care about ripped away from you. He looks at me, fear evident in his eyes. What are you planning? I lean back in my chair, a smirk playing on my lips. You'll find out soon enough. As I leave the bar, my heart races with anticipation. The feeling of power surges through me, fueling my desire for revenge. I know that I'm about to embark on a path that could lead to more chaos, but at this point, I don't care. I'm done being the victim, it's time to take control. The night is dark and quiet as I drive home, the moon casting a pale light on the road ahead. I can feel the tension building, and I know that the storm is just beginning. Emily and Matt may have thought they could get away with this, but I'm determined to make them pay. The next chapter in this twisted story is about to unfold, and I'm ready for whatever comes next. The air crackles with tension as I stand outside Emily's office building, the setting sun casting long shadows on the pavement. My heart races, fueled by adrenaline and a fierce determination to confront the betrayal head-on. Tonight, everything will come to a head. I glance at my watch, noting that it's almost 5. Emily usually wraps up her work around this time, and I want to catch her before she leaves with Matt. The thought of their affair fills me with a mix of rage and satisfaction. This isn't just about revenge, it's about making them feel the pain they've caused. As I lean against the brick wall, I pull out my phone and send a quick text to Matt, meet me at Emily's office after work. We need to talk. I know he'll show up. He has no idea what's in store for him. The minutes drag on, each tick of the clock heightening my anticipation. Finally, I spot Emily walking out of the building, her face lighting up as she sees Matt waiting for her. The sight sends a fresh wave of anger crashing over me, and I can feel my fists clenching at my side. What do you want from me? He asks. Hey, babe, she calls, running toward him with a bright smile. He pulls her into an embrace, and I can feel my stomach churn at the sight. I step out from my hiding place, the sound of my footsteps drawing their attention. Well, what do we have here? I say, my voice dripping with sarcasm. Emily turns, her smile faltering as she sees me approaching. What are you doing here? She asks, her voice suddenly defensive. I came to see how the two lovebirds were doing, I reply, my tone icy. I think it's time we had a little chat. Matt's eyes widen in shock, and he takes a step back, his expression turning pale. I didn't think you'd come here, he stammers. Didn't think I'd find out? I counter, my anger boiling over. You both thought you could play me for a fool? I've had enough of your games. Emily's face twists with irritation, and she crosses her arms defensively. You don't understand what happened. I never meant to hurt you. Then why did you betray me? I challenge, stepping closer. You think this is just going to blow over? That I'll just sit back and let you two live happily ever after? Please, just listen, Emily begins, but I cut her off. No more excuses. You've taken everything from me. You both have. My voice rises, and I can see passers-by glancing our way, curious about the commotion. You need to calm down, Matt says, trying to defuse the situation. We can talk this out. Talk this out? I scoff, the anger surging through me like fire. I'm done talking. It's time for action. In a flash, I reach into my jacket and pull out a small device, a recording of their conversations that I've been compiling for weeks. I press play, and the sound of their laughter fills the air, followed by whispers of their plans to meet and the intimate details of their affair. The color drains from Emily's face as the truth sinks in, and I watch as Matt stumbles back, horrified. What the hell is this? He gasps, looking at me in disbelief. This is your downfall, I declare, feeling a rush of satisfaction. I've been documenting everything, every betrayal, every lie. And now, everyone will know. Emily's eyes blaze with fury. You're sick. You're using this against us? I'm making sure you both feel the consequences of your actions, I reply, my voice steady. And I'm just getting started. Before they can respond, I turn on my heel and stride away, a plan forming in my mind. I know what I need to do. I head straight to the office of Emily's boss, a powerful figure in the company, and lay out the evidence of their affair. I can already see the wheels turning in my mind. When I return, I can see the anxiety etched on their faces. Matt tries to approach me, but I raise a hand to stop him. Don't even think about it. This is bigger than just you and me. You both need to face the music. As I walk away from them, I feel a mix of triumph and rage coursing through me. I know they'll be devastated by the fallout, but I'm also aware that this won't bring me peace. The betrayal has cut too deep, and I can't simply forget what they've done. A few hours later, my phone buzzes with a call from Emily. I glance at the screen, feeling a surge of satisfaction. I answer, ready to hear her pleas. Please, just talk to me, she begs, her voice shaky. You don't have to do this. I have to do this, I reply coldly. You made your choice, and now you'll live with the consequences. Don't do this to us. We can fix this, she pleads, desperation seeping into her words. Fix what? You've already burned that bridge, Emily. You've shown me who you really are, I say, my tone unforgiving. I'm done with you. With both of you. The call ends, and I feel a sense of finality wash over me. I've taken my revenge, but at what cost? The anger has fueled me, but now, as I look out into the darkness, I realize that I've lost more than just a wife and a friend. I've lost a part of myself. In the days that follow, the fallout of my actions ripples through our lives. Emily is fired from her job, and her reputation is in tatters. Matt loses not only his job but also his standing in our social circle. I watch from a distance, feeling a mixture of satisfaction and sorrow. They've both lost everything. As I sit alone in my apartment, I know that I'll never forget the betrayal. The ache of loss lingers, but I refuse to let it consume me. I've emerged from the darkness stronger, more resilient. I've taken control of my life again, and while the scars of betrayal will always remain, I am ready to move forward. The sun rises the next day, and for the first time in a long while, I feel a glimmer of hope. I may have lost everything, but I also have the opportunity to rebuild. I will not let their betrayal define me. Instead, I will rise from the ashes and forge a new path, free from the shadows of my past.